You know, these days we aren't exactly at a loss for cinematic universes. I mean, I'm sitting here waiting for word on the Dawson's Creek cinematic universe that we're bound to get eventually. But do you know one property that probably deserves a cinematic universe more than any others? That's right, the Power Rangers. And in this video, I'm going to use my Power Rangers fanboy-ness to not only explain to you why it could work, but also why you should probably be pretty hyped for it. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Okay, so for many of you, Power Rangers is probably just that goofy superhero show that you watched as a kid that used footage from some Japanese show. But it is, in actuality, a massive franchise spread across comics, games, and of course the television series, which is currently on its 27th season, with the 28th, Power Rangers Dino Fury, set to premiere February 2021. So it's a pretty big deal. So big, in fact, that it was acquired by Hasbro in 2018 for a whopping $522 million. Sure, that's not quite on the same level as the payout we saw for things such as Disney's purchase of Lucasfilm, which was around $4 billion, but it's still pretty substantial. And it is with that deal with Hasbro where all of this begins. See, ever since the toy conglomerate decided to take on the franchise, fans have been speculating about what kind of changes we might see to our favorite team of multicolored superheroes. For the most part, since 2018, it's largely been business as usual, with Beast Morphers going about as we all expected. However, we've been hearing rumblings of bigger things on the horizon, especially since Jonathan Entwistle, the creator of Netflix's It's the End of the Effing World, came on board, set to reboot the franchise with a new iteration that will reportedly encompass both television and film projects. So, a cinematic universe, basically. Which is potentially pretty exciting, but there are some people out there who may think this idea is just a tad bit ridiculous. Power Rangers? Really? That's what you're gonna try to build a universe around? How would you even do that? It's just some teens in spandex. Well, as fans of the series will know, but the larger casual audience might not be aware of, the Power Rangers mythos goes far deeper than just teens in spandex. While the different seasons of Power Rangers have made a habit of introducing an all-new cast of heroes in new situations every year since the end of Power Rangers in Space, and might, at face value, appear to be disconnected, they are actually all part of a larger whole, all part of one continuity. Well, okay, there are a couple series that take place in alternate dimensions, such as Dino Charge and RPM, which is hands down the best season, don't even at me, but it's still all connected. And we've seen this connection in a few different ways. Obviously, there are the multiple appearances of the original Green Ranger turned white turned red, Tommy Oliver, who actually took on another color, black, during Power Rangers Dino Thunder. And then there are the team-up episodes that we occasionally see, some of which including Rangers from multiple teams, such as the Once a Ranger episodes in Operation Overdrive that saw a new team of veteran Rangers step up to fill in for the Overdrive team when they lost their powers. And then there is the recent Grid Connection episode of Beast Morphers that brought us the epic team-up of all the previous dinosaur-themed teams, Dino Charge, Dino Thunder, and of course, Mighty Morphin. So the Power Rangers already exist within a connected universe of sorts. Sure, there hasn't been a ton of crossover, at least to the extent that many of us might imagine from a cinematic universe, but you know where we can see such a thing? In the Power Rangers comics. See, the Power Rangers comics actually had a massive event not too long ago that brought together pretty much every existing Ranger team, called Shattered Grid. This storyline saw the teams facing off against an alternate reality version of Tommy Oliver, who instead of becoming purified of Rita's evil influence like we saw on the show, instead became even more twisted, taking on the name Lord Draken. Now, Draken sought to absorb as much power as he could from the morphing grid, the source of all the Rangers' abilities. To do this, he began hunting Rangers from all across the multiverse, taking from them their morphers and also usually their lives. So basically, it was the Power Rangers equivalent of Avengers Endgame, and it was awesome. So there is already a ton of material that can be drawn from to make a worthwhile cinematic universe. And yes, sure, the 2017 film didn't exactly set the world on fire, but that might have been because it strayed a little bit too far away from the look and feel of the show. I mean, I personally enjoyed it, enough that I actually own it on Blu-ray at least. But objectively, it didn't do too hot at the box office. But maybe Hasbro, under the guidance of Entwistle, will be able to pull it off. All I know is that I'm gonna be there to watch it all unfold, good or bad. Well, did I succeed? Are you good and hyped for a Power Rangers cinematic universe? How do you think they're gonna do it? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and while you're down there, why not consider subscribing to ScreenRant for even more morphonomical action coming your way very soon. Thanks for watching, and stay safe out there.